On this episode of UTR, we explore Michigan's incredible Leelanau Peninsula. We'll stop for a slice of Michigan tradition at the Cherry Hut, get some chocolates from the grocer's daughter, and show you a winery that's rustic, raw, and real. We'll also meet a chef who brought French country cuisine to Leelanau and head to Suttons Bay for chow that foodies are definitely finding. Get ready to explore the cool people, places, and things that make Michigan a great place to be.
Under the Radar Michigan is brought to you in part by the Michigan State Housing Development Authority, investing in people, places, and partnerships to help transform Michigan and the Michigan economy. In cities, towns, and neighborhoods, people are building better places to live and better communities. The Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure series raises funds and awareness in the breast cancer fight, celebrate survivorship, and honor those who have lost their battle. Everyone is welcome. Find a Komen Race for the Cure in more than 140 cities at Komen.org. And by Big B Coffee, celebrating 18 years as a Michigan company. Gift cards, mugs, and coffee by the pound available in store and online. Franchise info available at biggby.com.
I've been around the world, but there's one place I keep coming back to. And the more I explore, the more I realize it's the place to be. I'm Tom Dalton, and this is Under the Radar, Michigan.
You know, folks, this is our 50th episode on UTR. And I can't believe you're still watching. But since you are, I thought I'd take you to one of my favorite places in Michigan, the Leelanau Peninsula. Oh, look, we're here.
If your idea of living right is being in a place that's surrounded by beautiful blue water, rolling hills, giant sand dunes, inviting vineyards, and great places to eat, you already know that the Leelanau Peninsula is pure Michigan heaven. The natural beauty of this place and its warm, friendly people will keep you coming back until, well, you just might decide to never leave. And the more you explore it, the more you'll explore it. The Leelanau Peninsula is located in northwest Lower Michigan with Lake Michigan to the west and Grand Traverse Bay to the east. On our way up and onto the peninsula, we made a quick stop in Beulah. This beautiful little town is a great laid-back place to stop, shop, relax, or even spend your next family vacation. And the best part is it sits right on the eastern shore of one of Michigan's most beautiful bodies of water, Crystal Lake. The lake stretches almost as far as the eye can see, all the way to the shores of Lake Michigan. And if you love scenic drives, try the drive around Crystal Lake. It just might cure what ails you. But to be honest, there was another very important reason we just had to stop in Beulah.
Now, one of the happiest faces you'll see when you're up north in Michigan is this one. And why is he so happy? Simple. It's the Cherry Hut.
When it comes to Michigan cherries, the Cherry Hut's been doing it right for more than 80 years now. It's a landmark, a tradition, and a big slice of Michigan history. And speaking of slices, their cherry pie is what they're famous for. It's simple, honest, fresh, and full of ripe Michigan cherries, which of course are the best cherries in the world. The Cherry Hut is also a family affair that goes back 3 generations. And I was lucky enough to sit down with Andy Case and share a little bit of my own Cherry Hut history.
I have to be honest, I was really excited about coming here because this place has been a family tradition at my house for a lot of years. On your 6th birthday, for all 3 of my kids, we drive up to the Cherry Hut, they get a brand new Cherry Hut t-shirt, then we go down to the lake and get your picture taken with your Cherry Hut t-shirt on. So I'm really excited about being here because this place means a lot to my family. And as I talk to people, it means a lot to a lot of these people here.
It does. It's really nice. We hear that story over and over. It's fun. It's the tradition of the families and the memories of Benzie County, of the Leelanau Peninsula, the area. It's just really nice to have and see the generation after generation coming into the Cherry Hut.
It must make you feel really good to own a place that means that much to the community and to the state as a whole.
It means a lot. It's a landmark of the area. It's funny watching people all day long posing for pictures in front of our sign. So it's nice to be able to give back to the community like that.
I found out very quickly all the reasons why so many people from so many places share this great Cherry Hut tradition.
I started coming here shortly after I was born. I'm 60 years old.
We have a cottage up in Lake Anne, and whenever we come up here, we have to come to the Cherry Hut.
It's just my favorite restaurant in the whole world.
You know, just good people.
Do you like the Cherry Hut?
Yes.
Give me one reason why.
Because I like the color.
Well, what I like about it is that their food is really good, and I like that it's so close to us.
I love the people, I love the food.
If you haven't tried the cherry pie from the Cherry Hut, you haven't lived.
You like your t-shirt?
Yeah.
Want to sell it? I got $5.
Hey, I just got this shirt.
Okay, sorry. I kind of grew out of my t-shirt. You wouldn't happen to have an extra t-shirt, would you?
You know what? I might happen to have one here for you.
Almost like we planned it.
How about that? Brand new Cherry Hut Ringer t-shirt for you.
And you haven't changed it. That's awesome. I'll wear it proudly.
Yes.
So if you're driving up north and you see this smiling face, or any of these smiling faces, stop, have a slice of Michigan life, start your own family tradition, and take home a pie or two for yourself. Just remember, the Cherry Hut is red and white. Now all it needs is you. Well, once we were full and happy, we drove up M22 to another one of my favorite places in Michigan, the Village of Empire. Great name for a tiny town. It's a walkable little village with cute shops and a great personality. Oh, and one of the best family-friendly beaches you'll find anywhere. It's actually where my kids learn to swim. On one side, you've got the warm, shallow waters of South Bar Lake, and on the other side, the beautiful white sand beaches and incredible views of Lake Michigan. It's a classic vacation destination. Another thing a lot of people don't know is that Empire also has its own tunnel of trees. Just drive south out of town on Lake Street, and you come across an absolutely beautiful canopy-covered road. It's a short drive and well worth taking. Oh, and speaking of cool things you'll find in Empire,
We're at Grocer's Daughter Chocolates. Now, I know it's a little hard to say, but if you're into chocolate, it's real easy to love.
it's the funky green building that grabs your eyes, but when you come inside, it's the aromas that will melt your mind. And that's because DC Hayden and Jody Dotson are making incredible, handcrafted, all-natural chocolates. They love what they do, where they are, and they love sharing their chocolate with the world.
I wanted to start this conversation off by talking about your chocolate, but I first have to ask you about the name of your place. It's Grocer's Daughter Chocolates.
Yep.
Hard to say, but easy to love.
Right.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, our founder, Mimi Wheeler, she is actually the grocer's daughter, and her parents owned in Denmark a grocery store, and they lived just above it, and she is the grocer's daughter.
Because you just recently bought the business from her.
That's correct.
Did you guys know anything about making chocolate, or do you just love chocolate?
We loved chocolate, and we've both known Mimi for many, many years, so I was always a fan of Grocer's Daughter Chocolate. So when Mimi wanted to retire and she started telling us she was looking for a young couple to take it over, it just made sense.
Now, your chocolates, you say, are artisan, handmade chocolates, but they're all natural.
Right. It has to do with what we add to the chocolate. So all chocolate starts off natural. And then in conventional chocolate, a lot of times they'll add palm oil or milk solids that aren't truly there's no dairy in it. And our chocolates, we add as little additives as possible. So very little sugar, very little dairy. And we only add things that complement the flavor of the chocolate. So we start with something from South America that's really nice. All of our chocolates from Venezuela, Colombia, or Ecuador. And then we'll add some herbs, some local whiskey, something fun that complements the chocolate. Yes, me too. I like the whiskey.
Local love goes into your chocolate. Yeah. And speaking of love, you refer to your staff as family, and I can tell it's almost like you're all brothers and sisters in there. Why is that?
I wouldn't have it any other way. I mean, I feel like if we do one thing well here, it's to provide livable wage jobs and build kind of a model for other businesses to show that you can live, comfortably and pay people well. And I think people are happy here. I mean, they run this little shop. We're supporting them. They know what they're doing, and so it's our job just to support them and give them a good wage.
Speaking of being happy, what makes you happy about this place where you live and you work?
It's an absolutely beautiful place, and a lot of people look to have to mix the employment, finding a job with such a beautiful area, and we're so fortunate to be able to be here and provide a really wonderful chocolate product and also get to live in such a beautiful area.
Well, you get to live where other people want to go to vacation. That's
Right.
what I always like to say. You live in paradise. This is beautiful here. And the fact that you're employing people, doing something you love, and making something I love, which is chocolate, is a total bonus.
And it's our community, too. Our community cares about where their food comes from. So I really love that. I love that Mimi, our founder, built this business as a community center. And so we have this legacy of providing really great chocolate to a community that loves it. And so it's a sweet thing, and we want to keep doing that.
Sweet thing, pun intended, right?
So if you're looking for a classic little Michigan town where you can kick back, enjoy the views, feel the love, and taste some incredible chocolates, roll into Empire, roll out your beach towel, and stop by Grocer's Daughter Chocolates. It's proof positive that the Leelanau Peninsula is a sweet place to be. Now here's a real treat for you. Just north of Empire on a lonely, winding country road is a secret beach that only me and the locals know about. I'd tell you where it is, but I've been sworn to secrecy. Now when you get there, you walk down a long sandy path that reveals an incredible sand-bottom blue lagoon that's surrounded by beautiful sand dunes. It's almost a tropical place where the sun, surf, and sand melt all your cares away. And the best part is, it's connected to Lake Michigan by a shallow little river where kids can run and play. Incredible.
So if you're looking for a great little secluded beach to take your family to, come to my secret beach on North Bar Lake. I just said the name, didn't I? Darn it!
Well, you know what swimming does? It makes you hungry, like we need an excuse on this show. So we headed over and up the bayside to the beautiful northern Michigan town of Suttons Bay. Now, if you're looking for a creative community with great art galleries, good food, and a certain level of sophistication, you've come to the right place. Suttons Bay's got just enough hubbub to make you feel alive, and just the right amount of, hey, I'm on vacation, to help you relax. So whether you live or play here, you picked the right spot. Oh, I almost forgot. That's right, we're hungry.
At Martha's Leelanau table, they actually have a lot of tables, which is a good thing, because the way we eat on this show, we're gonna need a few.
Martha Ryan took a classic little house right downtown and turned it into a place where everyone can enjoy her home cooking. It's a casual European-style bistro where everything is made from scratch and from fresh northern Michigan ingredients.
You can't find this kind of food just in every other restaurant in the area.
I love the environment. I think this is a beautiful old 1900 farmhouse that was converted into the cafe 5-6 years ago, and I just find it to be a very warm and welcoming space.
It's quaint, it's very, very peaceful to be here. I also love the pastries, and she has a terrific pastry chef, Susan, and they do a marvelous variety of delicious pastries.
And what I'm so proud of Martha is, she's one of the neatest people I've met since I moved up here, and that she made this success on her own.
And speaking of Martha, well, she's as easy to talk to as her food is to eat.
You've actually turned this little house, your restaurant, into a foodie destination. Do you feel a lot of pressure from that? I mean, knowing that people are coming from around the country and looking for you.
Yes, I'm kind of starting to realize that. And the one way I realize it is because I have started traveling in the U.S. a little bit. And when I travel, I'm looking for foodie destinations. So I get it, the idea of what people are coming, to find me for. And it's given me a different insight into it.
Is this your first restaurant?
Yes.
Are you a trained chef, or you love to cook so much you just decided I'm gonna try it?
I'm self-taught.
Well, you must be a natural, because I heard Mario Batali, who actually says that the Leelanau Peninsula is the best place to live on Earth. And he also said that you're a big part of the reason why this is such a great place.
Well, yeah, that was very kind of Mario to say that. And it's a beautiful place. And I do go away a lot, and then I get to come home, because this is where I like to live. This is my special place.
How would you define your food?
My food is part of Spain, Italy, France, America, South America,
Leelanau.
whatever leads me. And I use the European tradition of using your local food, what is in your area, and that's like the perfect thing to do right now.
For a cute little restaurant that's in a house, you've got quite a staff. I mean, the hustle and bustle in there is amazing.
Sometimes I feel like I almost have more staff than customers. But yeah, it does. In a small restaurant, it does take a lot. I do everything from scratch, so I have, a lot of people chopping and dicing and cooking and doing all that stuff in the kitchen. I don't make huge quantities of things. I make, what we're going to use in a couple days, so we keep on making it. And yeah, I don't have a lot of place to store things, so We make it, eat it, make it again.
That sounds like a t-shirt.
We filled up on Martha's awesome food, her incredible hospitality, made our usual mess at the table, and made a new friend. But that's not hard to do at Martha's Leelanau table.
You know, there's something to be said for being a pioneer. I don't remember what it is, but when it comes to Michigan wine, you're about to meet one.
The Leelanau Peninsula is known for its many wineries and vineyards, and more are opening up all the time. But if you want to find Boscadell vineyards, you gotta wander off the beaten path a bit. It's not what you'd call fancy or schmancy. You won't find big elaborate signs or luxurious tasting rooms, but what you will find is the man and the boys who got it all started. Jim and Andy Rink grew up tending to barrels, bottles, and bushels of grapes, and they did it all to help their fathers and now their own dream become a legacy.
I was actually here 25 years ago. I'm going to ask your dad if he remembers me, but I was here 25 years ago. This is the first Michigan winery I ever went to. And walking in here today, it looks exactly the same as it did 25 years ago.
But I look the same too, right?
Oh, exactly the same, yeah. But is it true your dad started this winery just to keep you guys out of trouble?
Well, that's his story. We actually had a baseball diamond just down the hill and a tree house. And, you know, we loved going out and playing baseball, you know, and then one day he said, you know, I just got to plow that under. He said, and I said, why? He said, well, we're going to plant grapes. So I thought, okay, you know, whatever, go ahead, plow away. So he planted a 1 acre test vineyard, 30 different varieties, to see what would work and at that stage it was amateur, home winemaking.
Well, that was back in 1965 when nobody was even thinking about growing grapes in this area.
Correct. It was him, and then there was Bob Herbst. He was a retired chemistry professor from MSU over by Good Harbor, and he had about 1 acre or so also, and also for home winemaking purposes. But then he must have been watching us one day, watching too many cartoons. You know, first it was the baseball diamond, then cartoons had to go. So he thought, well, I got 4 plus 5 boys, you know.
I was too young. I didn't get to enjoy the baseball diamond because I was like 6, and they were playing baseball. I wasn't allowed to participate, so it doesn't really bother me.
Never even had a chance to play baseball.
So your dad saw a chance to turn you guys into economic assets.
Exactly.
Instead of liabilities, in his words.
Instead of wine picker or grape pickers and...
Instead of nose pickers. So, you know, I was maybe 10, and we, you know, just started planting more and more grapes. It was endless, and then we opened. Well, the first commercial vineyard was 1970, and then we opened the tasting room here in 1976.
Well, a lot of the wineries have gotten chic, and the wine prices have gone up, and they've gotten. You guys are still rustic, real, and you guys make, what do you say, real wine for real people?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's a good way to put
affordable, that, you know, you can afford to drink wine with dinner as opposed to, you know, when it's a little pricier, it's hard to afford that as a, you know, as a wine drinker, just an average wine drinker, good wine. It doesn't have to be fancy or expensive.
Exactly. You guys have done it right. You've stayed real. You've got a clientele that's very loyal to you. And I mean, look, even I came back.
That's one of the benefits of being small. You can have a nice, loyal following of people who come year after year and buy a case or two, and that's, you know, really how we survive.
Not only was Boscadell the first vineyard on the peninsula, it was actually the very first Michigan vineyard I ever went to. And even back then, Bernie Rink was the man.
Bernie, I was in here 25 years ago. Do you remember me?
No.
Oh, I thought you might say that, but you made quite an impression on me. You really did. You asked me what the heck I wanted, and I said, well, I'm here to drink wine. You said, well, you came to the right place. And you made such an impression, I thought, you know, if I ever have a TV show, I'm going to come back. So here I am.
I'm a little less abrasive now.
No, well, thank goodness, because I'm sensitive. So is it true? So you turned your son's ball diamond into your field of dreams.
In a sense.
I mean, you were the first guy in this area to actually plant wine grapes. What inspired you? What got you interested in wine grapes?
Well, I worked at the college, but every time I sat next to my wife on the couch, we had another son. After the 4th one, we burned the couch. But along came Andy, number 5.
Yeah.
And I realized I had to do something, as you say, to put them to bed tired at night, keep them out of trouble.
You also realized it wasn't really the couch.
And learned some values they don't get in school. And it worked. They're all good men now.
You must be proud, though.
Oh, very.
Because you helped start the whole wine movement up here.
Well, that's secondary. Getting men out of boys is primary.
You know, I think the wine had more to do with you having 5 boys than the couch.
Yeah, probably.
After all these years, finally coming back to Boscadell made me realize that it's more than just about the wine. It's about family, tradition, and chasing your dreams.
Many people come in here that haven't been here for 15 years, and I just tell them, were you sick? Because anybody that doesn't show up once a year is either sick or dead, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I apologize, it took me 25 years, but I didn't have a TV show, so.
Well, that's not a good excuse.
You're right, I apologize. Darn it.
There's a lot of great wine out there, but there's only one Bernie Rink, and to him, I tip my glass.
What does France, the West Indies, and the Leelanau Peninsula all have in common? Simple. The guy you're about to meet. Come on, let's go meet him.
Guillaume Heza-El-Monsieur is the owner and chef here at La Bicasse, an intimate restaurant in Maple City that serves what he likes to call authentic French country cuisine. Now, Guillaume and I have 2 out of 3 very important things in common. We've both been around the world, we both call Michigan our home, but this guy, he can cook.
Explain to me exactly what is French country cuisine?
Well, but French country, first, we are located in the countryside. And secondly, you know, we are trying to prepare and present to people what is available in France all around the country, you know, in different regions. There's not a proper French cuisine per se. There's more like a country or regional cuisine that changes from region to regions. When you eat in France in a restaurant, sometimes the food might sound to you a little rustic, and I start from the same basis and try to refine it a little bit more and make it more appealing to more different palates, still while staying true to the roots of the meal.
So you're influenced by your mother's cooking?
My mother, indeed.
The West Indies, your French classical training.
Indeed.
So what has this area brought to your cooking style?
Well, somehow you have to adapt where you live because there's a different demand. And I adapt to the palate, to what people want, and trying to adapt with local wines, but also with local products like, you know, local morels or wild leeks, and incorporate that into what I do.
Do you find that this is a good place to be as far as the surroundings and what's available to
It's
cook?
unbelievable, unbelievable area. You know, I've never been welcomed like I've been welcomed here anywhere else in the world, especially in this area. This is, everybody calls it God's country as a reason, and the people are probably 80% of that.
After tons of great food and fascinating stories, we finished an incredible evening with Guillaume at La Bicasse. And with a collective sigh of contentment, it suddenly hit us. Now, we always feature exceptional people, places, and things on UTR, but this time, I don't know, it was just different. We really made a personal connection with everyone we encountered. And I think it says a lot about the people who call Michigan's beautiful Leelanau Peninsula their home. Yep, it's still one of my favorite places. Hey, next time you're out surfing the internet, hang 10 at utrmichigan.com. There you can watch previous episodes, tell us where to go next, jump to our Facebook page, buy wearables, and even check out our brand new Kickstarter campaign. So, grab your cyberboard, surf over to utrmichigan.com. You'll be glad you did. Oh, and hang loose, dude. Am I even doing this right?
Under the Radar Michigan is brought to you in part by the Michigan State Housing Development Authority, investing in people, places, and partnerships to help transform Michigan and the Michigan economy. In cities, towns, and neighborhoods, people are building better places to live and better communities. The Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure series raises funds and awareness in the breast cancer fight, celebrates survivorship, and honor those who have lost their battle. Everyone is welcome. Find a Komen Race for the Cure in more than 140 cities at Komen.org. And by Big B Coffee, celebrating 18 years as a Michigan company. Gift cards, mugs, and coffee by the pound available in store and online. Franchise info available at biggby.com.